What's up, y'all? This is Britt Jones with Throwback Country Music. I am so excited. As you know, and following the show, we are at June Jam 2024 with the iconic Alabama, and sitting to my left is another icon, 90s legend, and Grand Ole Opry member, Mark Wills. Mark, thank you for hanging out with me.
All right, man.
I was telling one of the artists a while ago that my passion and my heart behind my show is I love 80s and 90s country, and I love just honoring those artists. I don't want people to ever forget about them. And
oh, me too, man. I mean, that's the music I still listen to this day. You know?
Yeah, me too.
If I'm in the bus,
yeah,
and and it's time to get ready for the show, I've got my country music playlist, and it ranges from everything from Alabama, Vern Gosdin, I mean, we could. Whitley, Conway, Merle, Jones. I mean, all of what I consider to be that great era of country music.
No
doubt. A lot of Kenny Rogers on there.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the stuff that I grew up listening to, and it's the stuff that I still love. And that's why I think when Randy and the guys reached out to us about the June Jam, June Jam was in, if you know your country music history, and you know that this festival back in '82 predates any of the Country Thunders, any of the big mega concerts that were out there. This was it. This was kind of the one that started.
They did
all
for like
that.
20 years.
They did.
In a row,
well,
they did.
They did. I think they did 16 of
16,
them.
okay.
And then they disbanded it in '95 or stopped doing it after '95.
Right.
And then they started it back last year. And so I had never got the opportunity to play it.
Did you ever go as a fan?
No, I never had the opportunity.
Me either. This is my first time.
So it's always a good time to get to be a part of it.
That's great. That's cool. I was going to ask you, is it? I mean, because I don't get starstruck, but for someone like Alabama, that's like Alabama.
It's Alabama.
So for you, and I saw you playing. Was it last night at the Opry?
Yeah.
And you did some Alabama.
Yeah,
dude. You slayed it.
Well, we love. So one of my favorite shows to do at the Opry is the Opry Country Classics. Because it's not going out and singing your music. It's going out and singing the songs that I feel, kind of, and the way we sort of tell the story is the songs that brought you to that stage.
Yes.
So, to go on there and sing some Whitley, or to go on there and sing, some. You could go on and on and on about the music we love, but we had never got to play Alabama on there, and.
Last night was the first night?
Last night was the first time we'd ever played it on the Opry.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like we're leaving, here to go down to Fort Payne and play the June Jam. Let's play some Alabama.
That's
so
perfect.
we did a little Alabama.
Did you announce that last night?
I did.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I know for you as a fan of them, it's special to be invited here, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
That's crazy.
I think that any time that there's new acts come along, you can be a fan. Mm-hmm. You can like the music. You can like who they are as people. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there's never a substitute. There's never a better feeling than somebody that you grew up idolizing or that you grew up loving, that reaches out and says, "Man, we're doing this. I'd love for you to come be a part of our event."
That's special.
It is.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I want to touch on this because I'm just such a Opry fanatic. I got to hang out backstage a couple weeks ago for Opry Country Classics with Jesse. Yeah. And I get cold chills walking to. I'll go in each one of those dressing rooms if they're empty. Just look on the wall. You know. Do you still get the chills? I mean, when you go through the Opry, because I know it was a big deal for you to get inducted. I mean, I thought that wasn't.
For any time that I get to walk in the Opry, I always try to remember not so much what's coming ahead of us, but what's behind us.
I haven't heard it said like that before.
There's been so many great people. The Opry House that we're in right now opened in 1974. So I was 7 months old when that building opened, and I'm 50 now.
You're so young.
Well, my body does not tell me that I'm young. My body's like, you're an old man, especially in the musician world, man. After traveling for the last 28, 29 years.
With your first single?
22.
You were 22?
I was 22. I was 21 when I recorded the record. I was 22 when that song came out on the radio. And and so
that's crazy.
Yeah, so I've been doing this for a long time, but back to the Opry thing.
Yeah,
for me, I always try to remember, the photos, those great Les Leverett pictures, the Chris Holo pictures, all the people that have they've documented stuff at the Opry House. Anytime that I get the opportunity to walk in there, I always try to be very reverent to what come before us.
Man, that's why you remember.
Well,
that's why they.
I don't really don't know why I'm a member, aside from the fact that I love it. I've always tried to continue to honor the people that came before us.
Yeah.
Because I know that there will come a day. I'm we talk about, a lot of times people talk about in the music industry, talk about the change and the new and all that kind of stuff. And I remind people, there was a time when Loretta Lynn was the new female on the Opry. There was a time that Hank Williams was the new singer on the Opry. There was a time when Roy Acuff was the new guy at the Opry. Little Jimmy Dickens. We could go on and on and on and on and on. So there's always been that time when somebody new came in, and from where we stand, where we are right now, we look back and that's our history. Man. And that's the stuff. And so we're kind of creating that history right now for that next generation and that generation after that comes along. So it's up to us to sort of continue that tradition for the generations that come along.
The way you just explain that's so. I've never heard it explained like that before.
Well, I couldn't do it again, so don't ask me to repeat it because I don't have any idea what I just said. But it is the way I feel.
Man, that's awesome. Anyway, I love talking about the Opry. I could go on all day. Actually, next week I'll be there with Lori for her 40th anniversary next Saturday night. So I'm excited about that. Friends Club party.
Yeah.
You're going to be there the 7th?
7th, yeah.
7th.
June 7th.
Did you do that last year?
We've tried to do that every year.
Okay.
So CMA Fest is something that for me was a very special time in my career.
Yeah.
When I started out, I always loved the traditions of country music. I loved it when it was at the fairgrounds.
So you were you were performing at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, I go back to how it originally started over at the fairgrounds when you were in the pig barn doing the autographs
and it was
all
hot.
That kind of stuff. Well, sometimes it was hot. Sometimes they actually had the air conditioner working. So it was just it was kind of a roll of the dice.
I love hearing that.
But yeah, man, I love that. I love being able to play CMA Fest. There are some really good changes that they've made with it being downtown.
Yeah.
But I'm a traditionalist.
Yeah.
I like the kind of the old days of it.
I wish, because that documentary on Hulu. we're gonna watch that before we go up there. Sawyer goes to, is it SAE, that sound school? He's going to be an audio engineer, so he it's his first CMA Fest. So we're gonna try to watch that documentary to get the whole feel for it.
And the history of CMA Fest. That it spawned out of being something that.
Breaker.
There we go. CMA Fest spawned out of the old DJ convention.
See, I didn't know that.
The DJ convention used to be in Nashville. That's where all the DJs would come to town. They would do interviews with artists.
So the artists would come to the convention. Okay.
And that's how CMA Fest or Fanfare got started.
Yeah.
It was a time for the fans to come and not be competing with all the DJs that were trying to do the interviews and all that kind of stuff. That's how the whole thing got started.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Hello, that's great. Is that part? Have you seen the documentary?
It may be. I'm not exactly sure which.
It came out last year. It's 50 years of CMA.
Yeah, I think that is.
I've only watched the trailer, so I'm excited about watching.
Bill Anderson was one of the ones that was kind of in the beginning stages of getting it started.
Oh man!
And the gentleman, I'm going brain dead right now, but he was the gentleman that used to run the Opry back in the 70s, 80s.
Well, I know who you're talking about.
The building's named after him, and I, for whatever reason, can't come up with his name right now. But
we'll look it up.
Yeah, but they're the ones that basically started CMA Fest.
I love it. I'll learn about it next week watching it. Mark, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Well,
I think we're wrapping up. Can't wait to watch you.
It's gonna be a good time.
I saw you about 20 years ago with Terry Clark at Hiawassee. So
Oh, yeah.
my first time, yeah. And you did Dixieland Delight that night.
I won't do it today.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I'll leave that to Alabama today. You know.
Oh well, thank you so much,
Thank
and
you.
we'll get together and do a good exclusive interview one day.
Perfect.
So
Sounds
that'll be
good.
awesome. Thank y'all so much.